Let's talk tariffs today. It's Trump's favorite word. I'm not saying this, he said it himself. While delivering a speech to the top US commanders at the Marine Corps base in Quantico, Trump said, and I'll quote from his statement, "I love tariffs, the most beautiful word. We're becoming rich as hell. We've taken in trillions of dollars. And when this is finished, there will never be wealth like what we have." He says other countries have taken advantage of the US and casually threw numbers, saying, and I quote, "The money coming in is something we have never seen." The other day, they found $31 billion, enough to buy a lot of battleships. But are Trump's tariffs actually making America rich again? Trump in April had announced reciprocal tariffs on dozens of US trading partners, including China, India, EU, Vietnam, and Taiwan too. The tariffs were announced on what Trump calls the Liberation Day. Since then, the US has negotiated deals with several countries like South Korea, the EU, UK, Japan, Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia, and even changed the rates later on. Washington is still negotiating a deal with China. Trump has also imposed 25% tariff on India for buying Russian oil, which New Delhi says is unjustified. However, now trade talks are back on track between US and India. So most tariffs on all countries went into effect on August 7th. Trump has bragged about how much money his tariffs are bringing in, and most of the times, the numbers are all different in all his speeches. Recently, he said that US is making a fortune with tariffs, $2 billion a day. But he has never attributed or mentioned where these figures are coming from. It is true that US government is making money, but not as much as Trump says it is. Official US data shows tariffs have generated between $165 and $172 billion from January 2025 to August 2025. The latest customs and certain excise taxes data puts the figure at $183 billion for 2025. The BPC, which includes excise tax revenue, puts the figure at $158.8 billion. In August, the US took in $30 billion in tariffs, a record for 2025 and a 136% increase year over year. The US also took in $28 billion in July compared to just $7 billion during the same month last year. $26.6 billion in June compared to $6.3 billion in June last year, and $23 billion in May, a nearly 300% increase from May 2024. So while the tariffs have added billions of dollars every month in the US coffers, it's nowhere near trillions of dollars and not even close to $2 billion figure per day. And what is US doing with that money? Trump and others in his administration have claimed that tariffs could go towards paying down the federal debt and even potentially replacing the income tax. But the US national debt is still at $37.43 trillion. The bigger question is, where is all that money coming from? Well, Trump might be a good businessman, but his economic concepts need revision. Trump has accused other countries of tariffs that rip off America, but he also is focused on the trade deficit between the countries and sees tariffs as a way of redeeming them. Unfortunately for Trump, tariffs aren't paid by the other countries to the United States. In fact, it is private companies that pay tariffs to import goods to the United States. Experts also warn that the impacts of Trump's tariffs are slowly kicking in. Inflation, which the Federal Reserve had in control near its 2% target, has now steadily been creeping upwards. Companies in April had responded to Trump's initial tariffs by placing bulk orders for goods. This had allowed them not to immediately spike prices and alarm consumers. However, now the prices of goods such as electronics, appliances, sporting equipment, and toys are increasing. Companies are also reluctant to hire, with the latest job numbers disappointing, which Trump attempted to make the world believe that this data was rigged. While Trump has claimed that energy prices, petrol prices, and grocery prices are trending downwards in the United Nations General Assembly speech, the data still shows the exact opposite is happening. Inflation is up 2.7% in July to 2.9% in August. So while tariffs are bringing in some money, not as much as Trump claims, but it is bringing in money, it is paid for by the Americans and private companies. So are the tariffs making America rich as hell? Maybe the government, but not the Americans.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now. If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.